CNN, back in 2016, their election coverage had 13.3 million viewers. But at the most recent election, just a week ago, they went from 13.3 million viewers in 2016 to just 5 million viewers. Oof. Fox News, by comparison, had twice that many people tuning in to their election coverage. It seems like people didn't want to watch election coverage from people who'd spent 4 years lying to them.
RIP to the Communist News Network. CNN is struggling. CNN is going through hell. It's not being shut down completely yet. That's coming eventually, maybe in a couple of years. But CNN is a disaster of a network filled with propaganda. And now, according to Daily Mail, they are axing their top stars. I don't know how the hell you can call someone a star when they're not pulling in any money, any viewership, anything like that. But they are, for a bunch of communists, a network filled with socialists and communists, they are pulling in massive salaries. So they're quote unquote big on air talent. A bunch of them are about to be axed. This is going to happen over the next couple of months. We got propagandists who used to work for Fox News, who ran from Fox News after he heavily ran interference for Joe Biden in the 2020 debate with Trump. He ran from Fox News because he collapsed over there, ran over there to CNN and stole money. Chris Wallace, this man stole money, 77 years old, and working for CNN for the last 3 years, making almost $9 million a year. And guess what? He was pulling in about 85,000 viewers of the key demographic. In an election year, you're supposed to be a big star, massive salary, and all you can get is 85,000 viewers. So this old man, this propagandist, is now ducking CNN too. He said, look, man, if you guys are not going to renew my contract for another $9-10 million, I'm out of here. So he's going to start a podcast. 77 years old, knows nothing about the podcast landscape. And he's just one of many examples. The viewership on this network has been trashed. Pitiful. We can look at right here, this first line of the Daily Mail's report. CNN is planning to wield the axe on some of its high-paid staff after dismal election ratings that cap off a disastrous period for the cable news network. CNN is doing worse than Fox, much, much worse, less than half the viewership of Fox News. And Fox News is not as conservative as many people think. CNN is doing worse than MSNBC because MSNBC has gone off the deep end. These people are completely deranged nuts. Now, CNN is like that too, but MSNBC is worse. So for the far left, if they do want to get some propaganda, they're probably going to go to MSNBC first. Now, in terms of numbers, in the last week, so since the election, CNN has averaged about 400,000 views per day. Fox News is well over 2 million. And you guys remember that CNN Plus thing? They actually pushed Chris Wallace. He was one of the big names. Look, subscribe to CNN Plus. You can get Chris Wallace and a bunch of other propagandists. After 1 month, they dropped the price down to $2 a month. And I think it was a week after that, they just completely took it off. The thing barely lasted a month because it wasn't a real news app or anything like that. It was just a bunch of propagandists and nobody wants to hear that. But CNN is desperate. That was a desperate move. Another desperate move is they fired then, brought back Fat Boy Brian Stelter. He's nothing but a Saturday morning propagandist. This is a full-blown propaganda network. They've been lying and gaslighting for years. They focused for years, the last decade, on Orange Man bad, Trump is a criminal, he's in bed with Putin, doing all this stuff. They completely lied and hid the truth about Joe Biden's mental health. His brain is shot. CNN lied about it. They hyped up Kamala Harris. She's the best thing since sliced bread. She's the second coming of Obama, all that, and she got destroyed. Dana Bash, remember, she gave Kamala Harris that softball interview. Abby Phillips, she's one of the biggest propagandists on there. She has a panel filled with propagandists, and if you have any opposing viewpoint, you get quickly shouted down. And CNN actually thought this was a good business model. They regularly brought on guests who would call the viewers, potential viewers, like the conservative viewers, Trump voters. They say you're misogynist, you're racist, you're sexist, you're xenophobic, all type of stuff like that. These are your viewers you're talking to. But you think this is a good business model. By running to the left, you think these Democrats are going to uphold your network instead of being an actual news organization. You want it to be an arm from the Democrat Party. And now look at you. You're doing heavy layoffs and nobody's there to save you. And they also had crying ass Van Jones, other crying ass grown men. I think Bakari Sellers, he was on there crying. Just a bunch of crying ass grown men, soft ass soy boys on this network. Who wants to watch this, man? Who wants to watch propagandists, lying ass women squawk and crying ass grown men? Nobody wants to see that shit. So here we are. They're collapsing. They were real journalists. They did two good things this year, actually. They hired Scott Jennings, who used to work for Bush back in the day. He's a real conservative, not one of those fake, I'm a Republican, but I'm a bash Trump. Not one of those, but a real conservative. They brought him on there. That was a good sign, but they didn't feature him enough. He should have had his own show, and they probably should have brought on a couple of other ones. But he was always on a panel surrounded by a bunch of propagandists, a bunch of left-wing activists, and they always argued and shouted him down. They brought him on to be a cudgel, to give the Trump perspective, and then have like 5 or 6 people bash him. But he's been doing a great job holding his own. But like I said, CNN has not utilized him properly. Give him his own show, something like that, and you will pull in some viewers. They also were neutral during that debate when Joe Biden completely collapsed in front of the whole world. CNN was actually neutral. They did a good job. But they immediately reverted back to the left-wing propaganda. After telling the truth about Joe Biden right after the debate, they had a funeral for Joe Biden on air. And they spent the next week being an honest news outlet. But the far left-wing activists got to them. And they quickly reverted right back to left-wing propaganda and completely collapsed. So all I can say is all of these quote-unquote stars, Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, all these guys pulling in $20 million a year and can't get anybody to watch their ass. All I can say is, oh well, good riddance. We won't miss you at all. So let me know what you guys think. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more honest conservative commentary. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.